Hello, my name is Miss Sard, and welcome to my presentation on the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award that we are newly offering at Eagle Vale High School in 2026. So, I am a Kappa teacher, specifically a visual arts and photography teacher, but I'm greatly passionate about the outdoors and delivering outdoor recreation to students, primarily through international frameworks such as the Duke of Edinburgh. It is a fantastic initiative to help young people build resilience, outdoor skills, and connect with nature and fortify sort of their mental health and physical well-being. So it's just a fantastic initiative. So we are offering it to Year 9 and Year 10 students in 2026, very small cohort of 9 students, and congratulations because your child has been one of our selections because of their demonstrated abilities in academic or physical subjects at school, and because we think overall they would be a really great candidate to participate in the program. So let's talk a little bit about what it is. The Duke of Ed is a global youth development framework and it empowers young Australians aged 14 to 24 to explore their fullest potential. And this is also about offering them opportunities to grow and develop as a person and connect with the community at large as well. So, why do the Duke of Ed? Um, it is a fantastic program. It is not just about being athletic or doing a sport. It is more than that. It is about developing teamwork in a fun environment. It is about learning and developing life skills. And it's also great for the HSC. You get adjustment factor points at Macquarie University. So it actually does give you an advantage when applying to certain universities. And UNSW also offers bonus points if you complete the gold medal as well. So it's quite similar to Scouts in that regard. Now, I think that it also aligns with school curriculum because there are opportunities for students to complete creative thinking processes, to develop skills as well, because a lot of it is quite organizational, which will greatly help them in university and getting into university as well. But basically, in its more in its most simplest form, the Duke of Ed is um, for students to experience a sense of adventure and learn outside the classroom because we know not all learning happens in the classroom. We've got cross-curriculum priorities. We want them to get hands-on experience as well, learning socially, learning physically, learning kinetically. These are all really important as well. So we ask students to adopt the Duke of Ed to suit their preferences, their interests, and passions. So typically in the Duke of Ed, there are 3 awards. You've got your bronze, silver, and gold. Students are required to actually find 3 ways to participate. So they need to find a skill, a volunteer service, and a sport. I've actually mapped out those 3 for the bronze award. The sport will be bouldering, which is like a very small version of rock climbing. There's no ropes or heights involved, really. It's only 4 meters. I participate in this sport, so I've got my gym to be a co-signer for this. Now, the volunteer will be at Vinnie's in Queen Street in Campbelltown. They've agreed to participate with our school. And the last one for the skills will be outdoor skills workshops with third-party organizations that coordinate and teach these skills in bushcraft, camping, and outdoor general skills like orienteering, first aid, and things like that. So really, these skills are so applicable into so many scenarios. It's not just about being outdoor, but it's to create well-rounded individuals. Gaining employability is another huge thing. I mean, even though these are skills-based Fulfillments, I mean, working at Vinnie's in Campbelltown will give them great learning experience, how to operate a till, a register, deal with customers, improving on your skills, and also just giving you something to put on your resume as well. But there's also the added bonus where students may not realize that they have an interest in something and they might go into bushwalking or kayaking and realize that maybe they do really love it. And if they don't choose to pursue it as a career, it could just be a great hobby for them as well. Now, they can be recognized for their extracurricular and sporting activities. In the process of doing these things, they could pick up a discipline. And we often find that there's a lot of literature and research published that when students are participating in extracurricular activities, actually bolsters their in-school results as well, because it teaches them a lot about discipline, about prioritization, and studiousness. Um, we also want the students to challenge themselves. There will be at the summation of these courses, adventurous journeys, and these journeys are 2 to 3 days, and they're typically multi-day hikes and camping as well. So we will do that with a third-party provider as well. A little bit about me. I'm quite an experienced orienteer and mountaineer. I, for example, hiked Machu Picchu this year. That was 100 kilometers, 5,000 meters elevation. I camped and walked for 6 days as well. I've got my first responders aid course under my belt as well, which is a level down from paramedic. I'm very passionate about being outdoors and delivering these workshops and experiences to students because I know that how much they've benefited me. A really big one is meeting new people and having fun. I just know that I've met the most amazing people on my journeys and in my sports as well. I've made lifelong friends from all around the world from doing my treks. And I just think it is such a fantastic way for young people to explore the world. And they can also gain global accreditation, which can be recognized in more than 130 countries. So if they do choose to even become employed by the Duke of Edinburgh after school, which is a possibility, they'd be working for the government. This is recognized internationally. They can use these skills to go and work overseas and deliver the program as well if they wish. So there's a whole host of reasons why it's just an amazing program, and I really do incentivize young people to get involved. So let's talk about the framework and how it works. So there are three levels or medals that you can get. You've got your bronze, silver, and gold. So bronze is the first one that they would undertake. They would do a minimum of 3 months in each category to um, gain their medal. So basically, they would have to be doing a volunteer service, a physical recreation service, and a skills service. So they would do 1 hour per week, or 2 hours per 2 week period, or 3 hours per 3 week period, and so forth. So the way I would break it up is that we would do one in each term. So we'd conduct it over 3 terms. And then at the end, we would have our adventurous journey. So potentially we could start with the volunteer service. So term 1 of 2026, students would go and volunteer 1 hour per week at the Queen Street Vinnies in Campbelltown. Then term 2, they would spend that time doing physical recreation. They could do 2 hours a fortnight at the rock climbing gym. And then we've got skills. We could do that in term 3, and they could work with this bushcrafting provider, and they could do that potentially 2 hours a fortnight. They've also got the opportunity to do their adventurous journey, which I would do in term 4. And so we would go essentially on a camp, and we would use a third party provider. So like a company that provides guided walks and hikes and camping, so it's overseen, and that's what we would do for bronze. Then over time, the silver becomes a lot more, I suppose, rigorous because it actually averages to about 1 hour per week plus additional 6 months for major sections too. But they will be guided by me the entire way. And we also have people at the department who mentor me and help with the students. So we're going to guide them. It seems a little bit confusing right now, but it does make sense. So year 9 and 10, we'll do bronze, then silver the year after, and then completing gold in year 12, ideally. So students must complete a voluntary service. They need to connect with the community and give a service to others. So I've organised the volunteering service for students to do in 2026, and that will be working with the St. Vincent's in Campbelltown. But for their silver and gold, they need to organise that themselves, and that could be something like they could coach or umpire for their sport. They could join a community group through the council. I know that there are some fantastic bushwalking and bush regeneration groups through Campbelltown Council. They could even become an assistant for the Duke of Edinburgh. They can work at a community canteen or barbecue, soup kitchen, animal care, RSPCA, environmental care, and so forth. There are so many great opportunities for students to do. And even I know that students can go and work for SES and RFS, and this actually gives them a leg up if they want to get into things such as policing or fire department after school. So once again, just fantastic opportunities for students to get their foot in the door for after school career opportunities. So we have physical recreation, and this cannot be a sport that the student is already completing or completing in school. This will have to be something entirely different. So what I have in mind is for the students to come and do bouldering with me and have some coaching at my bouldering gym in Annandale, but they can also do a range of other things such as martial arts, rowing, kayaking, bushwalking, hiking, cycling, running, jogging, dancing, yoga, fitness training, gym training, and so forth. This will need to be signed off by somebody. Same with the volunteering. You will need to have somebody who will say that they can confirm that the student has done a set amount of time fulfilling the requirement of the physical recreation. Skills. Now, I've also organized a skill that's going to be through a third party outdoor recreation provider. Now, they will teach us bushcrafting, how to pitch a tent, how to read a compass, how to read a map. So, a lot of your really basic survival skills, how to use a lot of the gear, what to do in certain conditions if you're out, how to strike a fire. There are so many things that we take for granted, but are really not that common knowledge. So they will be teaching us about that. Now, there are also things that they can complete for their silver and gold. They can learn a language such as Auslan, complete a photography course, coding. They could do music, sewing, cooking, or meditation and mindfulness. And once again, they will need to have an assessor sign them off to say that they've been witnessed to do these activities. So, as you may have seen from that video, that was a presentation of an adventurous journey. And as we heard from that student at the beginning of the video, it was his first time bushwalking. He'd actually never been outside and had an experience like that before. And you can see at the end, the adventurous journey leader was saying that the students really surprised themselves. They didn't know what they were capable of. And I think that just speaks to the magnitude of an experience and an initiative like this. We're actually getting students to go outside, challenge themselves, do something new, build that resilience. So there is a lot of preparation and training that goes into qualifying for the adventurous journey. You need to conduct a practice journey beforehand at the bronze level, but we also will need to learn a lot of skills so that students can be self-reliant. So we've got a top-down process, preparation and training, practice journeys, you've got a qualifying journey and qualifying AJ adventurous journey report. So this ensures that the Duke of Ed students are competent in the necessary knowledge and skills to safely undertake a practice journey. It prepares the team for their independent qualifying journey, and then they're going to do an independent team journey as well. This means that they'll always be together as a team. And you also saw in the video that they were working with a particular provider I believe it was at Broken Bay, and there was a leader instructing them of their whereabouts and where to go, so they will be guided. Now, I've briefly mentioned assessors, but just to speak to a little bit more about it, they will need an assessor for the skill, for their physical sport, and for their volunteering. Now, these people need to sign off that they've can verify that the students have completed the activity. So these people cannot be a family member, but they can be a teacher, coach, or an instructor. What's really important is that we are going to help them set up SMART goals. So these need to be specific, measurable, achievable, and can be achieved within a time frame. Helping students develop goal orientation is one of the biggest parts of the program. We believe that everything can be achieved through goals. So I think that is probably one of the biggest reasons to do the Duke of Edinburgh. Now, these assessors would give final sign off on all the activities, and they must have a working with children check. So this will all go through the office to ensure that everything is up to paper. So you're probably wondering how to get started. Well, first of all, you can speak with me. My name is Miss Saad. I will be printing a letter, which you should have received, and emailing to give you my contact information and also a written statement explaining what it is, how to get involved. Uh, if you're unsure about it, please give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about it. But if you are happy for your son or daughter to commence this, we're actually having an excursion in week 9, which they will take a letter home for. And this is going to be a taster. So what we will do is we'll go start our morning at the bouldering gym, and then we'll have an instructor, and we'll just do a bit of a fun introduction. And then we're going to go to Queen Street Vinnie's to meet the manager there so she can induct us into the space and talk a little bit about what volunteering looks like there. And then we'll have a third party provider come into the school and do a workshop on bushcraft and outdoor skills with us. So it's going to be a really fantastic day. All the details and costs will be included. One thing to mention is that Duke of Edinburgh program does charge per award. So to begin at the bronze level, it is $150. If you have any issues with that, please contact me. We may be able to work out a subsidy or partial subsidy, depending on what our budget is, but we'd really hate for that to be the reason that you don't want to get involved. Yeah, please contact me and we can go from there.